Hello, I'm Barbara Wees, Minister of Tourism for South Australia. South Australia has some wonderful holiday experiences to offer you. We're the friendly state, the state of contrasts. Here you can taste the true flavour of Australia, from the rugged outback to our relaxed lifestyle and gourmet wining and dining. Our natural attractions range from the grandeur of the Flinders to the majesty of the Coorong and untouched beauty of Kangaroo Island. But I believe it's the authentic, personalised holiday experiences that you're about to see that really make us special.
Adelaide is your host, the capital of South Australia, the city of heritage, culture and charm. And its heart reflects the beauty, grace and skills of its warm and friendly people. Let's take a walk along North Terrace, where people learn of their heritage, where the history of our early settlers is presented in beautifully sculpted and cared for buildings. Let's start by visiting Old Parliament House and watch it brought alive by the technological wizardry of one of the biggest audio-visual displays in Australia. It follows the history and development of the state, from settlement to the present day. The home of South Australia's first Parliament is one of the oldest and most historic buildings in the state. Superbly restored in 1980, Old Parliament House is now one of the most innovative museums in the country. At the rear is a delightful restaurant courtyard setting, well worth visiting for a cuppa or a meal. To satisfy your hunger for art, why don't you join us and visit one of Australia's most comprehensive collections, Australian, European and Asian. Whet your appetite on such powerful paintings as Tom Roberts' The Breakaway and Charles Conder's elegant How We Lost Poor Flossie. What about Hans Hyson? Our colonial history is captured in the lively watercolours of early Adelaide by S.T. Gill, whose work is full of social comment of the times. The Asian art features a unique collection of Southeast Asian ceramics and Edo period Japanese screens. Or maybe your taste is contemporary and new art. There's a continuous program of temporary exhibitions showing the best of Australian and international art of all periods. As you step into the portals of this elegant neo-classical facade, enjoy, as so many other visitors have. Next door to the art gallery is South Australia's museum, a treasure trove of fascinating objects. You can see the museum's Melanesian gallery, which is filled with rare objects from Pacific cultures. The Egyptian room is a treasure in its own right. The museum shop caters for both visitors and students, with anthropological and specialist books. No walk on North Terrace is complete without a visit to the Mortlock Library. It houses a collection of books, writings and ephemera reflecting life in South Australia. The library contains displays of old South Australiana, including a permanent showcase of memorabilia of the life and times of legendary cricketer Sir Donald Bradman. A perfect example of a grand Victorian library. Now fully restored, the huge balcony chamber is rich with the glow of polished timber. Next door is the modern State Library, which provides a window on the world through airmail editions of overseas newspapers and extensive book and periodical collections totalling nearly 1 million volumes. There is a specialised lending service available to visitors. Borrow books, magazines and cassettes for both adults and children for a nominal deposit. Available at the lending service of the State Library. If you desire more history, a visit to the Migration Museum, which is directly behind the State Library, is a must. The main entrance is on Kintore Avenue. We are proud of Australia's first multicultural museum. South Australia was a multicultural society from the very beginning. The story of her migrants, who they were and why they came, their skills, their cultures and visions for the future is told for the first time in the fascinating restored remnants of Adelaide's old destitute asylum. Discover the rich diversity of South Australia's cultural heritage through an exciting audio-visual program. And to complete our walk on North Terrace, what could be more delightful than a stroll through the cool green retreat of the Adelaide Botanic Garden? Rest a while by the waters of the lake. Visitors can enjoy lunch or Devonshire tea in the idyllic lakeside setting of the restaurant. Visit Australia's only Museum of Economic Botany with its collection of strange seeds and fruits, its unique wood-turned goblet collection. The living plant displays feature specimens from all over the world. See the giant water lily of the Amazon, the rose garden, lotus pond, and sweeping vistas of Botanic Park. See the old palm house and new bicentennial conservatory.
Hello, I'm Steve Condis, the Lord Mayor of Adelaide. I'd like to give you a warm welcome to the city. I'm sure that after a few days' stay with us, you will come to the same conclusion as we have, and that is that Adelaide is the best planned and friendliest city in Australia. I have an open door policy in Adelaide, and I would like to welcome you to the front counter of the Town Hall, where my staff will only be too happy to make your stay in Adelaide a memorable and happy one. Let us assist you, and once again, welcome to Adelaide.
South Australia. What would she be without Rundle Mall? It is the very heart of cosmopolitan Adelaide, the visual and exciting centre of retailers and services, and all in half a kilometre. Where else in Australia do you have shady trees, attractive sculptures and seating to enhance the aroma and appeal of a shopping mall? Watch the buskers weave their magic spell. Join people spellbound by routines of mime and open-air theatre. And all about shoppers toing and froing. You feel alive. South Australia's leading retailers are the heart of the mall. Around them are the specialty stores, their wares dazzling, and the arcades steeped in charm and history. When we talk of quality and tradition in jewellery, there is one store on Rundle Mall that stands alone. Wentz Jewellers, Australia's oldest trusted family jeweller since 1854. Visit their small museum at the rear of the store and be charmed by the quality and craftsmanship renowned at Wentz Jewellers. Their friendly staff will cater to your every need, be it precious jewellery, Argyle Australian diamonds, or a quality gift for a dear friend. You're welcome at Wentz Jewellers, your trusted family jewellers. Now you must visit the Renaissance building, where the glass lifts travel up the exterior wall and give you an excellent view of the mall and city area. Don't forget your camera. For all your needs in cameras, accessories, film and quality fast film processing, contact James Place Cameras. They also specialise in fast camera repairs. Stephen Bennett and the team are friendly, helpful, and most of all, well placed to answer all your inquiries. With shopping on your mind for that memorable gift of your visit to Adelaide, let us tempt you with opals, South Australia's own and Australia's national gemstone. Way north of Adelaide is the largest opal mining centre in the world, Cooper Pedy. Now you couldn't be any closer without actually going there. Adelaide Gems is the showroom we recommend. It has style, panache and welcoming staff. Bill Retsis, the Managing Director, is only too happy to be your host. He'll assist you with expert advice and the widest range of opals to cater to all tastes and styles. Their staff are multilingual, including Japanese, and if you can't get there during shopping hours, they're only too happy to see you at any time by appointment. An interesting aside for the discerning shopper. For that original gift, why not consider primitive artworks and artefacts of Aboriginal tribes of the desert? Authentic didgeridoos, basket weavings, bark paintings, and of special importance are the wonderful paintings of Lance Chadd and Shane Pickett, Aboriginal painters of note, all at the one shop, Adelaide Gems. R.M. Williams is built on service to the people. As Australia's original Bushman's outfitters, their products are worn by people from all walks of life. Whether it's RM's range of boots, the best boot makers in the business, Moleskins, the largest and oldest makers of moleskin garments in Australia, or their range of Akubra hats and all those other accessories. RM Williams are makers of quality goods for people who won't settle for average. As you wander through this fiesta of sound and colour, you will find attractive and diverse coffee lounges, snack bars and restaurants, each offering their own fare, from homemade cakes to international cuisine. As a visitor to Adelaide, we want you to experience the very best facilities we have to offer. If you're looking for value, service and reliability, then look for this sign. Those restaurants, shops, wineries, coaches and tourist attractions bearing this sign are members of the Adelaide Convention and Visitors Bureau, a non-profit organisation assisting private companies to maintain the highest industry standards. So if you want to take the gamble out of your visit, just look for this sign. To get an interesting perspective of Adelaide, how about a cruise on the Torrens? Wind your way through 6 kilometres of parks and gardens. Stop at the zoo, which has been famous for its colony of yellow-footed rock wallabies, one of the rarest and most beautiful of all kangaroos and wallabies. Or walk through aviaries for birds of the rainforest. The zoo exhibits nearly 2,000 animals and has a wide representation of native and exotic mammals, birds and reptiles. What could delight you and be more charming than watching children feeding tame, hand-reared animals with special animal food in the children's zoo? The Adelaide Casino, Australia's only classical European-style casino. An exciting array of entertainment for everyone. Come in style or neat casual dress for action at the tables, or just to be with people. And what of cosmopolitan Hindley Street? At night, it is dazzling, boisterous. Anything and everything is happening. Nightlife, cafes, restaurants, wining, dining, laughing, dancing. Details of local and international artists are available in the daily press. Look under amusements. The Adelaide Festival Centre, unequivocally the most renowned centre of culture in Australia. In fact, the biennial festival ranks among the top 4 multi-arts festivals in the world. The Festival Centre was built in 1972, and as a landmark in the Adelaide Vista, it stands alone in geometric definition on the Torrens foreshore. The centre contains a 2,000-seat multi-purpose theatre and concert hall, a drama theatre housing South Australia's State Theatre Company, a performance space with flexible seating, and an open-air amphitheatre. In fact, if you want to see the high-tech wizardry in this modern theatre complex, why not go on a guided tour? In the evening, the Showbiz Bar is the perfect place for a pre-show or post-show drink. And if you're about on Friday, it's the home of Adelaide's late-night cabaret, The Late Show, from 11 p.m, and something special Saturday night. If you're hungry, the centre contains 2 superb restaurants. The Bistro on the Torrens, which looks out onto the river, or Lyrics Restaurant, which serves fine wines and an a la carte menu for either pre-theatre or suppers.
Action, action in the air. There's action, action in the air. There's action, action in the air. Listen, you race fans out there, we're set to go. You hear we're gonna have a party on the year. Yeah, you crave some action. Well, pack your gear. You gotta catch the show. You gotta make sure you're here. You should catch up your sleeve, 'cause it's not your normal. Gotta see these fellas ride. Feel Adelaide alive. It's alive, it's alive.
The South Australian Restaurant Association bid you bon appetit. Enjoy the wide variety of international cuisines we have to offer. Here are but a few notable restaurants who extend to you a warm welcome. Situated only 5 minutes from town, Chalmers has established itself as Adelaide's leading restaurant. Winner of many prestigious awards, including Chef of the Year 1987 and Golden Plate 1988. Good food is central to Chalmers. Seasonal fresh ingredients are selected with care. Its creativity and quality has built Chalmers' national reputation. The House of Chow restaurant is set in the greatest luxury and elegance, featuring many authentic Chinese artifacts. The cuisine is Szechuan and in the tradition of the region, most exciting for the true connoisseur of Chinese food. An extensive wine list complements your choice of food. South Australian whiting, barramundi à la Robert, lobster mornay. These are just a few of the superb dishes available at Swain's, Adelaide's favourite seafood restaurant. Set in delightful surroundings, close to the city with excellent parking. At Swain's, they cater to your every wish. You'll always be given a warm welcome at Swain's. Here in the city is a delightful Italian restaurant that caters and tantalizes you with homemade agnolotti, spaghetti gorgonzola, and hazelnut praline parfait. Just to name a few of the many and varied Italian dishes, Frank and Kathy extend the warm hospitality renowned at La Scala restaurant.
I do like the food, lobster, steak, whiting. I like the service. I like the wine list, but I do like the service, yes. I like the coffee and I like the service. They're really big on service. Oh, and they keep their prices down. Now, what do I like most?
Enjoy a business lunch at the Old Hackney Cellars and see if you can put your finger on it.
And now for a unique experience. Nestled in the Adelaide foothills, set in an English-style garden surrounded by Australian bushland, Carrick Hill, a gift to the people of South Australia. Historically fascinating, it contains one of the finest private art collections in Australia, together with a superb collection of Jacobean oak furniture and antiques. You can stroll along extended pathways among exotic trees and sculptures, view rose gardens, a bleached pear walk, and be enchanted by the ever-changing colours of an English garden. While you're out and about in the suburbs of Adelaide, take a leisurely drive down Anzac Highway to Glenelg. There's accommodation and restaurants aplenty, beaches, amusements, and things to see and do for all the family. There's a saying about Glenelg. It's the birthplace of South Australia, where people are our priority. It's essential you visit Port Adelaide, the maritime heart of South Australia, and home to some of the finest historic buildings in the state. A treasure trove of South Australia's heritage awaits you, the finest being the Maritime Museum. You can climb an 1869 lighthouse, visit historic ships, and galleries in magnificently restored bond stores. Adelaide and North Adelaide are completely surrounded by parklands. Throughout the parklands are tennis and basketball courts, golf courses, scores of sports fields and children's playgrounds. If you are a walker, there's over 40 kilometres of walking trails linking all the parklands. What could be better on any sunny day? Adelaide has something to offer every visitor. It has managed to combine most of the trappings of larger cities without the hustle and bustle. Enjoy the sights of Adelaide City and more. Just one of Premier's Adelaide Day Tours. This brochure is available at reception, and to book, phone this number. A Premier courtesy coach will collect you and drop you in the city after the tour. Premier Road Lines. Rent any car from Budget's range of vehicles for 4 or more days. You save money. Budget drives your dollar further. And how about the hills? What a backdrop to our fair city of Adelaide. We recommend you spend some time wending your way through rugged gorges, undulating hills and valleys onto plateaus that command panoramic views of the whole of Adelaide laid out to the sea. It's breathtaking and a photographer's delight. You'll be amazed by all the cheery little towns and special attractions. Let's take a visit to Harndorf. It's the oldest surviving German settlement in Australia. Wander through its streets of traditional German character. Sample delightful delicacies from bakers and wurstmakers. Beautiful handcrafted arts and crafts can be purchased from local craftsmen. And it's only 20 minutes via the freeway. It's said that Harndorf is the hub of the hills. A visit to Torrens Gorge will probably be one of your most memorable days. The road winds through steep and wooded gorges. There's a wildlife park. The biggest rocking horse in the world, 6 stories high. And on to Birdwood and the National Motor Museum to discover Australia's largest and most important collection of veteran, vintage and classic motor vehicles.
For a long time now, people have been putting themselves through the mill, and they keep coming back because the mill keeps changing. New attractions, new displays, new gizmos and gadgets to keep you guessing. A surprise around every corner. Come for the drive, stay for the day. Birdwood Mill. Isn't it time you put yourself through the mill again?
Mount Lofty, the highest point in the hills. Near the summit are the Mount Lofty Botanic Gardens, planted with exotic plants of cool and subalpine regions. Next door is Cleland Conservation Park, where you can walk among kangaroos, wallabies and emus, koalas and swamp birds. If you want to do some bushwalking among tall stringy barks and orchids in spring, Scott Creek Conservation Park is popular for walkers and nature lovers for its native vegetation and more than 120 species of birds. Wherever you go in the hills and valleys, there are picturesque towns, warm and friendly people. It doesn't matter what season, the hills are one of nature's masterpieces in all seasons. Drive through the scenic Adelaide Hills, visit Harndorf and more. Just one of Premier's Adelaide Day Tours. The brochure is available at reception, and to book, phone this number. A Premier courtesy coach will collect you and drop you back after the tour. Premier Road Lines. Did you know that you can rent any vehicle in budget's range from 12 noon to 6 p.m. for only half the daily rental charge? No advance reservations. Budget drives your dollar further. Gentle rolling landscape, lined with grapevines stretching out in neat rows. Fascinating wineries, names like Seppels, Leo Buring, Orlando, Chateau Yaldara, Tollies, Krondorf. They roll off your tongue like a memorable dream. You can savour some of the best. The Barossa Valley hosts visitors from all over the world. We have Australia's largest premier wine-producing valley, and it's only an hour from Adelaide. The Barossa is famous for its festivals, particularly the Biennial Vintage Festival, renowned worldwide for its Mardi Gras atmosphere and feasting. There's much more on the Barossa's menu, and wherever you choose, you'll taste the unique style, setting and atmosphere that makes eating an experience. All, of course, complemented by the best wines Australia has to offer. Today, Barossa's lifestyle owes much to the pioneers of the past. Tall spired churches, humble workers' cottages, cemeteries and graceful homesteads are monuments to a bygone era. There's an atmosphere of North England in Angaston. In Bethany, a little piece of 19th century Silesia. Nearby Tanunda retains its own village atmosphere in the historic Goat Square, site of the early market. One of the most unusual attractions is at Springton, the huge hollow gum tree where Johann Friedrich Herbig and his large family lived for 5 years. Collinggrove, the Lodge, Lawley Farm, Blinkenstall, the Landhaus, all offer accommodation designed to make the most of the Barossa's history. There's much more that colours the Barossa. Huge hot air balloons add a special splash of colour to skies as they take passengers on leisurely scenic flights. And what could be more spectacular than the sight of dozens of balloons taking to the air for regular races? The Barossa is for everyone, especially kids. They'll love the parks, Storybook Cottage, Wacky Wood, the fascinating Mechanical Music Museum, Singing Birds, On the main road to Nuriutpa is the unique Kev Rawlak collection. It's more like a curiosity shop with medieval fighting axes and swords, steam engines, phonograph and music boxes. Enjoying yourself in the Barossa is easy. Don't forget to take some samples home to savour. Enjoy fine wine, the Barossa Valley and more. Just one of Premier's Adelaide day tours. The brochure is available at reception, and to book, phone this number. A Premier courtesy coach will collect you and drop you back after the tour. Premier Road Lines. Pick up your car anytime Thursday or Friday for a minimum of 3 days and enjoy 1 day free of charge. Vehicle must be returned the following Monday. Longer weekend rates drive your dollar further. Let's tell you about another great region called the Mid-North. It's been known historically as the land of milk and honey. Pastoralists took up huge runs, encouraged by glowing reports of prime grazing lands. Today, merino studs in the region lead the world in medium-strong wool production, with ram and flock sales continually breaking records. At one time, the Mid-North was known as the nation's granary. The Mid-North has a lot to be proud of. For instance, the Burra copper mines helped save this fledgling colony from bankruptcy in the 1840s. Today, the impressive remains of those times are all around. Imagine being a miner in Australia's oldest copper mine. You may have lived in the town's earthen dugouts, then in one of the company cottages on Paxton Square. Today, the miners' cottages have been refurbished, together with the nearby Bon Accord Mining Museum. A novel concept is to visit the Burra branch of the National Trust and for a nominal fee, hire the keys from the tourist office and visit the police lockup and stables. Burra's first police station cells built in 1849. Intertwined with the local history is another of the region's most popular attractions, the celebrated Clare Valley, where for more than a century, wineries have been producing quality vintages which have won world renown. The picturesque town of Clare combines old world charm of many historic buildings and peaceful tree-lined streets with all the facilities of a thriving regional centre. Why not exchange your work clothes for formal evening attire and enjoy an elegant evening at Martindale Hall? Pamper yourself by staying overnight in one of South Australia's finest historical mansions. Sleep in the elegant comfort of one of the main bedrooms. Dinner is served in the very best traditions by the butler and maid. Enjoy the Clare Valley wines and more. Just one of Premier's Adelaide day tours. The brochure is available at reception, and to book, phone this number. A Premier courtesy coach will collect you and drop you back after the tour. Premier Road Lines. Should a car be available on standby, you can drive off with a substantial 25% saving on our standard daily rate. The rates are subject to vehicle availability. Advance reservations not applicable. Budget drives your dollar further. The playground on Adelaide's doorstep. Long sandy beaches, rolling green hills, and equally delightful vineyards, where you will have the opportunity to taste a selection of the best Chardonnays in Australia. There's so much to see and do on the Fleurieu Peninsula. For the beach lovers, Fleurieu offers the best. Superb stretches of silver sands. Perfect swimming and surfing beaches run right around the coast. And they're full of space. Local reefs, rocks and wrecks make exciting fishing or diving spots along the spectacular craggy coastline. If boating's more your style, then hire a yacht and set sail for adventure. Cruise the mighty Murray or the largest expanse of fresh water at the Coorong and Lake Alexandrina. Or maybe hiking is your pleasure. Head off to any one of 21 conservation parks where wildlife roam in natural coastal settings and grand bushlands. At the heart of the peninsula is Victor Harbour, South Australia's most popular holiday spot, located on the picturesque shores of Encounter Bay. Victor Harbour's most famous attraction is Granite Island, a declared sanctuary joined to the mainland by a causeway. The island is the home of the fairy penguins, and in the evening, the exodus from the sea to their nests should not be missed. Victor Harbour is the ideal base for a perfect holiday, with its vast range of accommodation catering for all needs and budgets. Let's head down the road to Goolwa, a charming old river port. It's ideal for a weekend or longer. This was the site of South Australia's first steam railway, which still operates as a tourist service today. Goolwa is reviving its reputation as a major steam and riverboat centre. The puffing, hissing and clanking of steam and oil-fired machinery at the wharf area demonstrates the effectiveness of these early sources of energy. Goolwa is the gateway for visitors interested in seeing the barrage and lock system where the River Murray finally flows into the sea after 4,000 kilometres. The recently completed signal point overlooking the town wharf will be Australia's only complex devoted entirely to the nation's greatest river system. It is a major bicentenary project for the state and one that South Australians can be proud of. Flerio's hallmark of quality and variety is also stamped in its wineries. The distinctive blend of large and small wineries have different things which make them special. Take a scenic tour around some of the main wineries' areas: Ranella, McLaren Vale, Clarendon and Langhorne Creek, which make the famous wine coast. McLaren Vale is peaceful and welcoming, where people have time for you. McLaren's on the Lake has an elegant restaurant and charming cellars. Inland, the Scottish heritage of Strathalbyn is ever present with its beautifully located St Andrew's Church overlooking the tree-lined River Angus. The Old Courthouse Museum and other fine buildings, including the charming old London House, which has antiques, curiosities and fine furniture. No matter where you roam, you'll find artists, potters and craftspeople producing a variety of works. Because everything's so close on the Fleurieu Peninsula, touring is a treat. Whatever the length of stay in the Fleurieu Peninsula, wherever you choose to stay, one thing can be sure: there'll always be a friendly face and a warm welcome awaiting you. The good life has never seemed so good as on the Murray. Informality and a warm dash of country hospitality makes the river an ideal place for a holiday or stopover. Meandering past stands of red river gums, sandy beaches, quiet lagoons, and tranquil bird and wildlife havens, the river will entice you further into its unique environment. Discover the meaning of pure relaxation as you glide along the waterways with family and friends on a houseboat holiday. Or laze in luxury on board one of the cruise vessels, which combine romance and nostalgia. Paddle steamers also add a special dash of colour to the big river as they ply the river from historic towns Loxton and Mannum down to Goolwa. But all the fun isn't simply on the water. Browse among the river port towns, their museums, galleries and craft shops. You'll unearth a deep sense of heritage and an insight into the region's character, whether you stay down on the river's edge or linger around the resorts. The long days of sunshine, winter and summer, provide an ideal retreat for lovers of the great outdoors. Today's lush farmlands weren't always there. Discover how, through ingenuity, pioneers solved the problem of reclaiming the marshes between Mannum and Wellington, the largest reclamation in the Southern Hemisphere. The once tranquil waters are stirred up by houseboats and speedboats, water skiers and swimmers to add their own colour and life to a river which was once a great commercial highway. The sleeping giant of river towns surely must be Murray Bridge. At one time it was the first stop for transports and coaches leaving, or last stop for motorists coming from interstate to Adelaide. Puzzle Park. You can pit your wits against each other in Australia's largest maze, 4.5 kilometres of passageways, giant games of chess, drafts, snakes and ladders, plus a giant playground, aquarium, and a Western-style fort provide hours of fun and challenges. Nearby is the dazzling splendour of multicoloured butterflies in a rainforest environment at the Butterfly Farm. And savour the delights and products of rural South Australia in the country market. Houseboat holidaying is well catered for with the Lillian Grace fleet based at the Long Island Marina, and other boats are available at River Glen Marina. There are many magical names and views to be seen on the big river, upstream from Mannum. The scenery changes, and most of the many turns of the river have swamps and billabongs on the inside curves, and high cliffs extending for miles. These cliffs provide great interest with their variation of colour and thousands of white cockatoos that rest there. Another sight familiar on the river are the modern cruise vessels like the River Murray Queen, Murray Princess, Proud Mary and Serenade. When it comes to dining with a difference, try the novelty of a dinner or luncheon cruise on board floating restaurants such as the Mundu or the Aruna. South Australia's greatest natural playground. Around each bend there unfolds a new mood. Lazy days, adventure, fun and exploration. There are countless wonderful places and sights to be seen and enjoyed in this beautiful state of South Australia. Let's take a jaunt to a secret destination. You won't see huge international hotels and motels on York Peninsula, but then again, you won't miss them either. Spots like Moonta, Wallaroo, Ardrossan and Edithburgh have comfortable flats with spectacular ocean views. Discover peace and solitude, the relaxed, easygoing atmosphere, the sunshine, clear waters, starlit nights, and the unforgettable aroma of the bushland. The region is a photographer's delight. Huge waves from the ocean surge onto the beaches, or crashing into the rugged cliff faces, pumping white spray high into the air. They say Port Lincoln, down on the tip of Eyre Peninsula, is the place to go. Australia's fishing and yachting capital. What within 35 kilometres around the city, there's 40 islands, numerous bays, inlets and coves. They invite the fishermen to catch snapper, salmon, whiting. You name it, they've got it. And the vast sheltered waters of Boston Bay attract yachtsmen from all over the world. Outback, where the desert blooms after a rain, where the Flinders Ranges trail into narrow gorges, where the rugged grandeur and the peace and tranquility abound and surround you. Such is the splendour of our Flinders Ranges, richly rewarding for the photographer, the artist, naturalist and adventurer. Depending on your preferred means of travel, the Flinders can be suited to holidaying all year round. The most popular time is April to October. Now you can go up to the Stewart Highway, the sealed ribbon through the outback, and maybe stop in and visit Coopapedy, where the country is stark and inhospitable, more like a lunar landscape. But many are lured to the largest opal mining town in the world, where the sensible ones live underground. Once you're here, all sorts of things happen. Tours of working mines, opal and more opal, the kind that weaves its magic spell, that flashes and winks at you. Stay overnight and experience living underground at the Desert Cave. Then you can follow the process and watch rough opal transformed into a beautiful piece of jewellery. Australia's third largest island, gleaming beaches, spectacular scenery, mild climate, wildlife aplenty, one of the few unspoiled places, Kangaroo Island. In a word, enchanting. The three main towns are Kingscote, the commercial centre, American River and Penneshaw. All three provide good accommodation. Take advantage of some of Australia's best angling. Fishing trips are easily arranged. Flinders Chase National Park is a must. It offers visitors an unparalleled wildlife experience, breathtaking scenery, and the priceless opportunity to commune with nature. Access to Kangaroo Island is via air, or the alternative is to take your car by ferry.
Well, those are just some of the special experiences there are to enjoy in South Australia. I'm sure you'll agree that one visit isn't enough, so enjoy your stay and come back soon.